So the last video we added our Gulp integration back in from the original source file. That code now basically compiles into what we use for Sass or JavaScript, all of this stuff, and we can link to it correctly. The reason I did that is for some of these bugs that are coming around in terms of block level elements inside of dynamically generated content. Our menu, for instance, has an extra div that surrounds it, so it's throwing off the two ULs, as I explained in the last video, that are happening here, because these social media icons should be to the right. We will fix that. I'm going to do that later on. So this video is going further down the page and adding the next content areas. This one's completely dynamic at this point. So if we go to our homepage, you will notice all these fields inside the actual page that have that content, which is pretty nifty. So I am going to create a new field group. First, I'm going to make this not seamless. I don't really like the look of that on the page. So if you know what that setting is, it actually contains this in a block like this, so you can hide and contract. Cool. So let's add a new field group and look at our design. Let's just call this maybe tasted stop into Dave. Looks like it's from the chef. Let's call it the introduction section, maybe. Introduction. And here, if you haven't followed along, I'm using Advanced Custom Fields. This is a plugin free to use. You can basically generate all these different content types, and that is what you saw on the homepage that I was making use of, these new fields that you can add content to and output wherever you like inside your theme with PHP. So I am going to first probably do one of these side-by-side comparisons so I can see what exactly we need. Let's do introduction title. It just needs to be basic text, I believe. I'm going to put the default value. You might just want to put placeholder text or whatever you want for your client if you're using this theme for them, maybe. The choice is up to you. Okay, and we'll need one more field that's a text area, it looks like. So introduction copy. You can do text area here. I'll save. I won't do the default value there for that one, and I like to use no formatting. WordPress adds some stuff sometimes that just does not jive with me. And then we need this image to come through, as well as this one. Looks like the background is just a pattern. I'll probably leave that as CSS code. Looks to be, that's what it is currently. So we just need two image fields at this point. Do introduction signature image. Image URL, just the thumbnail. Okay. And then I'll just probably do dish. Okay. Same with this one. Our field set to show on the home page, which is what we want. It should display after our header group, which we made in the previous video. So as you can see, all of our custom fields so far are the header and introduction. And if we go to the page, here's the header. I'm going to minimize that, and here is our introduction. I don't know, by default it's doing this seamless thing. I'm gonna go ahead and change that back real quick. standard. Okay. Cool. So we have the title as the default. We declared that in the custom fields creation portion. I'm going to keep this like that, and then we'll need to add these images, which they're in our source project CSS directory. I'm going to grab those now. Chef, there we go. Portrait, I don't know, picture with signature. And then our dish image. Looks like that's the background. There's the dish image. Dish of food. View from overhead. Okay. Not great, but it'll work. Okay, and we can update that. And now comes the fun part where we need to output that to our next section of the theme. Let's view our source files, which is the distributed index file. Looks like this, they called it the about section, made it a content block. So we'll essentially copy this HTML. And since we have a front page template right here, we're pulling in that header home, which we were using in the last video. So all that stuff stays in this file and gets pulled in dynamically to this file. What I like to do at this point is create, I guess partials is a good term. And to do that in WordPress, you can do something like this. Get template part, and we have a folder that has parts already. This theme underscores in general, which is the starter theme I used, makes use of this partial kind of concept. So if you actually declare the name of that folder, template parts, and then pass in, it'll actually be content. Since that's the suffix of the file name, we'll pass in the part we want to create. So in this case, it will be content home intro. I'll probably keep that naming convention going, so it'll be home dash something. So essentially we pass in home intro, and all should be well. To verify that, we can just do a little quick, actually we could just paste in that code. Let's see what happens here. Voila. So obviously our images aren't loading, but we do have that block in place. So cool. That was fast. So at this point, we can go ahead and already add in our custom field parameters. To do that, I'm going to open and close some PHP tags and declare the variables first. Just basically copy and paste this stuff since I have a snippet. Get field. And watch for white space. Signature image. Field. Direction. Now you can use just the field and declare this stuff right inside the code. You don't have to go up here and do all this. I just like to sometimes check to make sure content exists first, just for the sake of just only displaying code that needs to be displayed. For instance, if you did not have your heading text and you saved the file, I could do an if statement wrapping this entire block, and it wouldn't show in that event. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and assume the person who is updating it is going to go ahead and always have content inside those custom fields. So we'll just go ahead and not check with PHP if that's existing. And then the copy will do this. PHP echo introduction copy. Do this. Okay. Finally, we can do our images. So to get this to display, we can just keep the classes there. It looks like they're all set. PHP echo introduction signature image. Introduction dish image. Now, if we were to get fancy, there is an extra parameter inside these where you can actually grab the object, and based on how you upload the photo, you can get all the parameters of that upload. So for instance, all of these things come with each image in WordPress. You can actually output them. It's an entire object. So if we were to actually use the object, we could get everything from the source, the alt, the title, or caption, description, all that stuff, and output it if we wanted to. I'm not doing that in this video series, mainly because there's already stuff there. We can go ahead and enter it ourselves. If you anticipate your client or someone, whoever you're building this for, wanting to do that, you can go about it that way. There is plenty of documentation on advancedcustomfields.com to show you how to do that. You can honestly copy and paste and it should be ready to roll. So let's check this out, see if it worked. Dish of food, looks like that's not working right. What do we got going on? Dish image. Source unknown. Ah, white space again. Boom. Cool. You see how fast that went? It's like night and day compared to the last video. Okay, so for grens, let's do that real quick on the next part. I think it's kind of a similar design. Just the ingredients, a few images, background image. So what did they call that in the source? Ingredients? Let's call it that. Content, home, ingredients. Create a partial. So you do a PHP file with content dash home dash ingredients. .php. And we'll copy over this div, which is in the source files. Okay. And we'll basically repeat the process. I mean, this stuff isn't rocket science, but once you get kind of a pattern going, it's pretty fairly easy to get rolling. One thing I'll know we'll have to do is source this image and actually display it as an inline style. So let's go to the Sass real quick and double check that styling. About ingredients, here it is right here, ingredients block, which is this div, the containing div. Essentially we kind of just repeat what we did in a video back, kind of explicitly write this stuff. Background position 0 0, and we'll get rid of that. So essentially you'll need to just do this for you. If whatever the name will be, we'll do style equals quotes background image colon URL in that and then we need to end our if, and then that should be it. We'll need to define the variable, of course, and output it there. Let's do that now. Create custom fields. So this will be ingredients. We'll need to add a new field group. Make it, the page will be the home page. Hide this. This will be 2. Make this standard. If it seems like I'm going fast, and it might be because you just tuned into this video. The previous videos I kind of walked you through all this stuff, why I'm doing things the way I am. So be sure to watch those. All right, let's look at our file. Let's call it ingredients, title, text. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this over with the default value. And then ingredients content. Our copy. We did that in the last one. Let's make it a text area, and I will just use this convert new lines into BR tags. It looks like that's what's going on here. I hate using those, but I guess it works. Okay, and we'll need these images. I don't really know. Ingredient image. So if you have the pro version, this would be a cool time to use like a repeater field. The free version unfortunately does not have that. So I'm going to add these one by one. Ingredients, image 1. And we'll do the URL. Just make it a thumbnail. And we'll duplicate these. Oops. There you go. And one more time. Okay, and then we need finally ingredients, background image, This will be an image and another URL. Can maybe make this one a little bit bigger just to signify it's the background image. I might put that first. I'll put it in between there. Okay. I think we're all set. So I'll publish that. I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm in here, add our variables to the partial file we just created. And if you don't have a snippet like I do, you can see, I would hope you can see how quicker or more quickly it is compared to just actually having to type it out. I went the longest time typing everything out, and I don't know why I did that. But once I figured out snippets are where it's at, you should definitely make use of them yourself, I think. Hit field. There we go. Okay, so we have everything there. This will break currently if I don't go ahead and add our background image. So I'm going to add that. Ingredients. Oops. There it is. Same here. I like to just do a safety check there. I don't know. I don't necessarily need to, but it's just kind of a PHP if there's no image, maybe I'd output a different style if this was a commercial theme or something like that. So we could do an if here too, but I think I'm gonna just echo it. Ingredients title. And we'll do the ingredients. Go ingredients copy. Can't type. Then finally, our images, looks like we just need to output each one. So I go ingredients, image 1. I am just going to copy and paste this. And change the digit. Cool. So that should be set up for everything to display dynamically. Now we just need to actually add this content. So let's go to our home page and minimize this. There's our actual ingredients. I copy and paste it from our HTML version. I think that should do it. And then we'll add the background image. So let's find that. Wheat. Well, it's in here somewhere. Food. Hero ingredients. There it is. So this one's 1600 pixels wide as well. I think that's basil. Basil in a kettle, or no, it's a pot or something. A bucket. Okay, there's that. According to our design, we have this one, then that one, then that one. So let's add those. Wherever they may be. There it is. Wheat. Image. Spices. Image. Finally, bread. Kind of a weird ingredient. Guess it didn't work. There we go. Cool. So in a different version of Advanced Custom Fields, you can actually customize this layout. Suddenly that's gone, and I don't understand why, but I miss it because look how long this page gets when you're trying to scroll. It's like, if you could just float these in like a 3-column fashion, how much nicer would that be? Anyway, go back to our page. And it looks like something's not right. And custom home ingredients, front page, template parts, content home ingredients. Double check my work here. Got template parts, content, comma, home ingredients. Is that what we got? Oh, I can't spell. That's the problem. Rename. Where you at? There we go. Ingredients. Let's update that for grins and kaboom. So we got everything with the background image. It looks like it's either not coming through or is the wrong. Oh, you have to echo it. So just do PHP echo and close out the tag. Do we have it? There we go. Cool, guys. So as you can see, we're already, almost halfway through this thing. Next up is this menu item. Really could use the repeater field for this one, but I will withstand from doing that and show you a different way. Maybe we'll actually make it a custom post type so we can just post and it'll output to that. I don't know, that's kind of tricky though. Main dishes, salads, appetizers. That'd be a lot of programming for kind of no reason. So like I'm thinking this could be like a category, and then we could query the database to display the menu items from that category, and then if they have a tag of special or some crap, you could display that. Or you could just use advanced custom fields and just display things one by one. Maybe it could create a custom like menu setting and just allow the user to add those from there instead of the actual page. Just not sure yet. But anyway, we will continue on in the next video. I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you in that one.